Hey everybody, it's Andrew from Let's Park It and the Let's Park It podcast, and I'm here with my co-host
Zach.
And this is episode number 5. Zach, how you doing? How are things in the quarantine and the lockdown for you over there?
Pretty much the same.
It's
just
same thing.
bored.
Yeah, just watching the days go by and watching the paint dry, pretty much, huh?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are like, you should come out of this with your side hustles and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like,
No
no,
one's
I'm
buying.
ain't doing anything. I'm talking about other things. So
Now's the time to be lazy.
it is the time to be lazy because you don't have to be like, hey, I'm the best, most proactive person ever. You know what? This is the time. This is the time. Plus, we can't go to Disneyland anyways. So that's why we talk about it.
Yeah.
And we have a very, very, very controversial episode. I am so excited for this because it is it's positive, but it's not positive at the same time, but it's something different, I think. What are we going to talk about today, Zach?
Talk about our unpopular opinions about the Disney parks.
Oh no, unpopular opinions. That's blasphemy in the Disneyland. You do not say these things.
Start the hate in the comments down below.
Right. Unlike or thumbs down if you already enjoy this video. Okay. So there's gonna be a lot of hate coming from this one because there are some crazy Disney fans out here. And I know whoever's listening already is probably hating this episode, and we haven't even gone into anything. Or they've probably already turned it off. And like, I ain't listening to these guys. So let's get this kicked off. We're gonna start light, and then maybe work our way into like the really good stuff that we're gonna dig that knife into you real good.
Yeah.
Let's shank them. All right, let's shank. What do we got first? What's our unpopular? Your unpopular, ours, and we'll discuss from there.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with some food stuff.
Uh-oh.
You know, food's a big thing at the parks. You got
huge.
Some staples that we don't necessarily like.
Yeah.
The first one, the main one, is Dole Whips. Overrated.
Overrated. Yes. Why do you think they're overrated? And then I'll go. We'll just go back and forth.
It's just pineapple ice cream. I don't get it.
It is. Go on.
I've heard the argument, but it's dairy free. Still ice cream. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna wait a goddamn hour for fucking pineapple ice cream. Like, I'll tell you my first experience with Dole Whip. I didn't have Dole Whip until last year, and because you can you get it in Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
You can? Well, I just I didn't care. I was like, whatever. And my friend's like, oh my God, we're at Disneyland. I had gone a ton of times, but the line was always long at the Enchanted Tiki Lounge. That's where you get it. It's always long. It's always like 30-minute wait. No one knows how to use mobile order, so it's like whatever. And I go to my friend, they're like, okay, we're waiting. And we waited like 15 minutes for it. I remember being like, I was hyped up. I'm like, I'm ready to do this. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be like 33 years of my life. I've been waiting for this. I put it in my mouth, and I turned to her, and I'm like, this is fucking it. This is just pineapple goddamn ice cream. Yeah. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you want it? And don't get me wrong, it's delicious, but it's nothing delicious. Crazy.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
You know, way overpriced, like everything at Disney is.
Yeah. But there are different flavors now at different parks, which is like, that's getting a lot better in my opinion.
One of the better things from a Dole Whip I've had is at Animal Kingdom, they had a Dole Whip float, but it was with coconut rum.
I mean, anytime you add alcohol into something, it's going to taste way better.
That was really good.
Yeah, like I haven't had the Dole Whip float because I think at Disneyland you can get it right next to Trader Sam's at the Tangora Hut or whatever it is. I think you can get that Dole Whip float. But it's like, you can even get Dole Whip floats at Universal Studios now. They just don't call them Dole Whip floats.
Yeah, they're like pineapple ice cream.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just sugar, ice, and water, and cream. Or no, not cream, because it's not even dairy. It's not what? It's vegan. Is it vegan?
I think so.
It's so, but still, I get it. But I'm also like, y'all overhyping this up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Also, people learn how to use mobile order, so you don't have to wait a half an hour for a disappointing treat, such as the Dole Whip.
Yes.
Mic drop. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube and listening, please just comment down below all your hate. We want it. We feed off the hate right now. It's what fuels us during this lockdown quarantine. This episode just feels so good
Yeah. Tell us
already.
why you like it.
Yeah,
Maybe
tell
change
us.
our minds. I
Yeah,
doubt it, but
try to tell us how you think it's better
need
than.
that meme posted
Yeah.
right now. Dole Whips are just pineapple ice cream. Changed my mind.
Yeah, and then to be like, no, you're not going to change my mind. Yeah, I think it's a nostalgia thing. They had it when they were young, which I think nostalgia is going to be a big play in this episode. We're going to get into that a lot. Um, I get it. When you're like young, I think things taste differently than you remember them. So you associate these tastes and these smells, churros, that kind of stuff, with great, good feelings. Like freshly cut lawn reminds you of summertime or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where the Dole Whip comes into play, because it was a staple for so long. But then you go and you're like, I'm a grown ass adult. This stuff tastes like shit.
Unless you throw some booze in it.
I mean, it still doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste bad. It's just pineapple ice cream. Who cares?
Yeah. It's nothing special.
I don't want to spend $30 on 2 pineapple ice creams and say, hey, this is awesome. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, let us know that you love Dole Whips and that we're wrong. So
Yep. I got one more food thing.
yeah, what else? Let's go.
Turkey legs are gross.
Turkey leg. Okay, so I don't mind turkey legs. Why do you think turkey legs are gross? Besides that they're a giant fucking turkey leg.
Yeah. Just so, like, the meat's just weird. Like, it's not actually turkey.
It's weird. It's huge. They're huge.
Yeah, I always get a stomach ache afterwards. Like 2 bites in, I'm like, this was a mistake. I'm throwing it out.
Yeah, like $12 later, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and it's just so greasy and you just feel gross afterwards.
They got little tendons coming out, like those little white things. It's like I don't know what that is. Now, I won't say that I love turkey legs, but I won't say that I hate turkey legs. However, why are turkey legs at theme parks? I don't understand that part.
Yeah.
There's got to be something. We can probably Google it, but I just don't know why they're associated with theme parks. Like anytime you go to a fair or a theme park, it's like, we got turkey legs, guys. Who wants them? Like they were this like thrown away part of the turkey that everyone's just like, give them to the theme park people. They'll eat it up.
Now, if the meat was like a Thanksgiving turkey, that would be a different story.
That would be good. There's so many other items I could think about that would be better than a turkey leg. Like, what if they just had burritos? I want a burrito. Like, give me a burrito cart. Or even corn on the cob. You can't find it at a lot of parks. I would totally down corn on the cob rather than a turkey leg.
Oh, yeah. Some street corn.
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, like, you think about a turkey leg, it's huge, but you really don't get that much meat. Like, you don't get to eat that much meat because you're dealing with fat and everything else.
Yep.
It's weird. Okay, so let's go on to another topic that's kind of food, but it's also, we kind of talked about a little bit too. There's no booze inside of Disneyland or Magic Kingdom. There are exceptions to this. Disneyland being Savi's or Olga's Cantina, and I believe sit-down restaurants in
Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney World. This is horseshit. I understand Walt had a vision at one point where he didn't want booze, if I remember correctly. But it's 2020. You know what? You're losing so much money due to non-booze sales. Plus, you have all those parents who need that alcohol.
Yeah, or them childless millennials.
Us, know, who need that alcohol. And we're just going to sneak it in anyway. So, sorry, Walt, but you fucked up on this one.
Yeah, his visions So long gone. Might as well get some booze in there.
60 years ago, 60 to 70 years ago. Listen, I have all the respect for Walt. He's done a lot of stuff and created such a cool thing. But we also got to keep up with the times, you know? And I think alcohol is just a part of that, you know,
Yeah.
especially with parents. And I just want to have a beer. It's not that I'm getting trashed at Disney World or
Yeah.
Disneyland. I enjoyed beer and I like the taste of it. And it'd be awesome to see that. And I think that's why you still have lines to this day outside of Savi's or Olga's Cantina, and you can't even.
Yeah. Just let me walk around with my fuzzy tauntaun.
Yeah, and and there's lines, and there you can never get reservations unless you're getting them at like 8 in the morning, and then it's such a hit. So I think that kind of speaks for the future. There must be some sort of something in some sort of law, or not like a law, but like a policy that they've made a long time ago that they're just kind of like still sticking to his vision. But
Yeah. I'm sure there
um,
is.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But give me that booze. What we got next? Bring him up. Let's bring him up. I wish we had a live stream going right now because people would be just like, "You're wrong. You're wrong. F you, bro. You don't know
Yep.
what you're talking about. You don't
Where do I
know."
start? There's a lot I put on this list.
Um, just name one. I don't even care because I already went through two on this list of mine.
Let's go in the food region again.
Yeah,
Character dining's dumb.
I've never done it. I've seen it from
I
afar.
I haven't either, but just the idea to me is stupid.
I
I'm
I
sorry.
well, I want to go and say on this one, I understand that you get to interact with as a child with your favorite people. That's where I see it happening. I also see it as a taking advantage of people's money type of situation because they're upcharging a big price for those, and the food is just like generic, um,
Yeah.
normal food that you wouldn't get.
And
And
they
I
rush,
understand.
from what I understand, they rush you through.
Oh, do they?
Like, here's your food, here's the characters, get out.
And that's it takes away from the magic of what Disney's really all about. And they got it down to a science now where it is like that. It's like a boop boop boop. Like even if you're doing photos with Mickey, you got to be in and out. But there's so many people you can't until they start jacking up the price super crazy. Ooh, add that to the list of topics right there. Yeah, you can't. I mean, we should just do one. We should do one to see how it is.
Yeah.
Actually. I'd be down for that, especially if I can get my picture with Mickey. Why not? But it does seem to be a little bit outrageous. There's a lot of things. But also, Zach, you got to remember, we're not the main demographic for that. However, they are charging an arm and a leg. We are talking like childless millennials, which we are. But, then they could do it better or differently.
Yeah.
Make it more unique.
And there's characters in the park. Like, I just want to eat my food.
Yeah, but it's different,
Yeah.
How
We'll have
dare
to
you, Zach?
experience it.
How dare you? We're gonna experience it and we're gonna record the whole thing, and it's gonna be magical. Okay? You're probably gonna be like, I get it now. I get it. Goofy came up to me, he gave me a hug, and then fed me my breakfast.
I'd pay for that.
He actually chomped it up and baby birded it into my mouth, and and it was glorious.
Donald Duck is the one that baby birds it.
Well, he better. Otherwise, I'd be taken right out of the experience right there. I'd be like, this is not real. You can't baby bird me, Donald. You jerk. Yeah, so that's another one. What else we got? Oh, let's talk about pricing. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a deep one right here. I'm going to cut some cords right now. Disney prices are high. Yes. Park attendance is high. Yes. Should Disney increase pricing even further in order to make sure the park has you have a great experience? 100%. I know family of fours want to visit Disneyland and Disney World. Um, ooh, it's gonna be hard to say,
This is the episode. You gotta let it all out.
but I mean, I get it. This can go another couple ways too, because I have other things I want to discuss in this.
Go for it.
In order for the parks to maintain that really cool quality that you feel on those off days when some people don't get to experience it, like on a weekday, on a Wednesday in the middle of nowhere in the year, and you get to feel that really cool magic when no one's there, is what I think the park should be at most times. Not necessarily just, ghost town, but waiting 4 hours for a ride is not advantageous for anybody to experience the park, and it's going to give a bad image to the park. And I understand Disney is popular, but and we want and Walt's vision was for it to be everyone can come and enjoy this park and that kind of stuff. That's totally cool. But there is a point where you have to increase prices in order to make sure that everyone individually in the park gets to have that experience. And I think right now we're starting to see that entertainment is high on the list of what people want to do. Disney's high on the list of what people want to do, and the price point is at that where it's obtainable for everyone almost always. So it's creating a park that is at capacity most of the time.
Yep.
That's not fun. That's not fun for anybody.
No.
And I feel like weird saying that because I'm like, of course, I want them to increase prices. I don't want to pay that. But if you do increase the prices, then the times that I can go or the times that families can go will be more enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I get it. Spending money at Disneyland sucks. Like, it's just, especially for a family of four. I went as a child, and I don't even know how my family afforded that because we weren't from money or anything like that.
Yep.
And I remember going down there, and now I think back on it too, because I'm like, well, Disney was cheaper 20 years ago, but flights, hotel, food, park admission, multiple parks, that's so much money.
Yeah.
And and to have an experience that is lackluster because you're sitting in line for 4 hours for one ride is that's not fair. That's not fair to people. That's not fair to families. But we don't think about that. We think about the price. We think about this is going to cost us this much. But then you get there and then you hate your experience and you never want to come back to Disneyland. So,
And then you get the people complaining, which
yeah,
ruins the mood for everyone around them.
yep. It's crazy, and I don't like seeing that because this is where we go for fun, and this is where I want to see other people have fun because it's just it's a fun atmosphere, and you see those families that are when you go on the busy days that they are definitely frustrated or you know they're like we spent all this money and all we get to do is this, you
Yep.
know. You hear it time and time again. The first time I went to Disney World when I was young, I hated it. I did not like Disney World. I liked Universal Studios better. I was a teenage. I was like just becoming a teenager. I liked fast, fun rides, and we waited too long at Disney World, and then we went to Universal Studios right the year that Islands of Adventure opened, and no one was there. Apparently, and we went on everything all the time, middle of summer, and it was like we just loved it. And so it was that experience, and I've been able to experience it, and I remember it. I remember being like, "This is dumb,"
Yeah. I had
you
kind of the
know.
same thing. Like, I remember going to Epcot when like Test Track first opened,
Mm-hmm.
like the year it first opened, and me and my stepdad waited in line for that for a few hours, I think. And by the time we got up there, I'm like, I don't even want to ride this anymore.
No, it ruins it for you. You don't want to, and then you get on it, and you're like, is the 4 hours of your life worth a 3-minute ride? No, it's not. There's many other things you can do and experiences you can have that are way better for a 4-hour wait of your life. Now, that being said, we've definitely waited our time in lines. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, whether or not those were worthwhile waits is whatever. But like when they have 8-hour lines for Harry Potter and
Yeah, no
still three and
thanks.
a half for Pandora, you're like, come on, let's just like,
Yeah,
that's not fun for anybody. Where people are literally running to the park and you're like,
yeah,
what are you guys doing? You spent your whole, like, this is like, in a lot of these vacations, I get it, are um once in every 10 years. That's what's happening. And so it sucks that people aren't having the best time when you
yeah,
can, because we're spoiled. We get to go to the parks all the time. Um, and I just want everyone to have a good time. So when I'm saying this is an unpopular opinion, it's because I'm really coming from the bottom of my heart, our hearts. I want everyone to have a good time. So if anyone out
yeah.
there is like, I don't want higher prices. Well, you know what? Screw you, you Scrooge. You suck. You you have a heart of a lump of coal heart. Okay, this is about everybody. Okay, I want everyone to have a good time, even if it costs more, which it should. So yeah,
Yeah.
hike those prices up, just not on my annual pass. I
um,
hold on. No, I gotta keep going on this.
okay, let's go.
It's getting there. First off, and this isn't even unpopular, this is just an opinion. Disney, no, this is just gonna this is just I'm just gonna start complaining about the prices now because it is so expensive for an annual pass compared to the other parks. So while I do agree that Disney prices should go up, I still hate it, but I'm still gonna pay it. That's
They
the
should increase the prices for something other than the annual passes, like
yeah.
to not prevent, but like,
No, they gotta increase them all. That's we
all
have
right.
it's a luxury. It's not a privilege. That's the thing that a lot of Disney fans don't get is that it's a luxury. It's not a privilege. Going to a park to have the coolest time ever is not something that you need in your life every day. It's definitely not a necessity. As we all know now, in these times, there are essentials and non-essentials, and unfortunately, Disney is not an essential. Unfortunately. Alcohol is. Okay, Zach, what's next? This is just going to
uh,
be called Andrew's ranting hour.
let's continue with the wait times thing. Just talking
Yeah,
about the fast pass system. I know a lot of people hate the fast pass system nowadays,
they do hate the fast pass
but
system,
so,
but go.
uh, mostly at Walt Disney World. I
Yes.
can see that, but like I think Walt Disney World should implement what Disneyland is doing because I really liked what went on at
Yeah.
Disneyland.
So for people who don't know, Disney World has was it how does it work at Disney World, Zach?
So I think if you're coming on vacation, you can do like 60 days in advance. You have to book it in advance.
It's a while. Like you got to be
Yeah,
on your stuff.
yeah, and like it's really hard to get something. Like you want to ride that new ride, you want to ride stuff in Pandora.
Yeah.
You, you're probably not gonna get it.
No, not for at least 60 days.
Yeah,
Like you got to be on top of it.
yep.
And
But then you
then
have
yeah,
Max
go.
Pass at
Yeah.
Disney World, at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Book stuff
What
day of.
day of? So, but with the Disney World one, you can what is it like 3 a day or
Yeah, they limit you. I don't know exactly what it is, but
yeah, they
they
limit
limit you.
you and you have to book it a long time in advance. And I believe I've done it before though, day of. I think it's like 3 at a time or something like that. Like you can get other ones.
Yeah,
It's just like you're limited. You have to go to that one and then do that and that kind of stuff. Whereas Disneyland, it's a hourly schedule, so it's like it fills up. So if you say you're on one ride, you can get the fast pass for the next ride. That could be literally the next. It could be a half an hour later. So you ride that ride and you go on the other ride, and you're really able to kind of plan your day based off of
yeah,
what's least popular almost, and be like, okay, well, we want to ride this here. You can definitely prioritize your day a lot easier, And
Yeah.
I think the Walt Disney World it's garbage. But I also think they probably do that because the parks are so far apart that it would
Yeah.
be hard for somebody to get from here to here.
Yeah. We were bouncing back and
Oh
forth
yeah.
in Disneyland and California Adventure all day.
And that's the cool part about that is you can literally just it's what a football field maybe across from each other.
Yeah.
They definitely need to improve on that system. Um, wait, what was the unpopular opinion on this? Wait
That,
times.
yeah. That the new
Oh,
fast pass system sucks, but I like it, especially at
oh,
Disneyland.
yeah. So it definitely works amazingly at Disneyland. It did. So if you don't know how to use, that's the one problem that people are talking about though. And I'm also like, I don't. I'm like, just get it because it's more money. It's $15 now. It was 10 and now it's 15. But I'm like, if you're spending $150 on a ticket and you don't upgrade for the $15 in order to ensure that you have an even better day,
Yeah.
I think I get it though. You know, that price gouging, nickel and diming you. But I'm like, it's per person too. So I understand that. At the same time, I'm like, if you're only there for one day, you gotta spend that money. Otherwise you're gonna have a crappy time. And
Yeah.
you know, it's
Only
just
it's like when I went, it was $45 for the weekend. It was $15 a day. We
yeah.
did everything basically the first day.
We did everything that morning pretty much just because we
Yeah.
had the ability to do it. Like because you were there and we got it down and we're like, we're gonna do this, this, this. We
Yeah. It's
hit
just like
out.
whatever was available. It's like, let's just do this. It's right here.
Yeah.
It's available.
We bounce back and forth. And I feel so bad for families because they don't want to spend the money or I mean I get it. There's sometimes people can't afford it. But if you're coming to Disneyland, like you're gonna spend $12 on
Yeah.
a turkey leg that's gonna suck. Might as well spend an extra $3 to get something that's gonna have more enjoyable situation for everybody. Like
Yeah. And
there's this what? Sorry.
I was gonna say, then you get the families who aren't that tech savvy that
Yes.
don't get the app, you know.
Yeah.
But then there's also the paper fast passes around. I don't know how that works because we didn't do it, but
We got the one, but it's like it's the same thing. You just put your ticket in at the kiosk and you pull it out and you get a
oh yeah,
fast pass. So that's actually doesn't even cost you any money. So you can still do that. So you can still do fast passes. You just the only reason you spend the money is the max passes on your phone. That's the only reason. So you can actually still do the whole entire system. You just have to go up to the place and come back later, which is fine. Like, but people, it's weird. It's like you have all this information out there on YouTube and Google and whatever telling you exactly how to go to the parks. Here's a guide specifically for this. Here's a guide specifically for a family of 3, a family of 4, a family of 2, you know, couples, singles, whatever. They're all out there, but yet everyone's like, I don't know how to do this anymore. And you're
no,
like,
let's just
come on,
wing it.
guy. Yeah. And you're like, there's all this information. You have this thing called Google and you can't use it. Like, it's it's a difficult thing, and I think the fast pass, you got to do it. That's how Disney's going to make extra money. It's also going to enable people to have a good time.
Yeah,
However, the one ride that it has affected recently is Mike and Sully's um, Escape or whatever it is. In California Adventure, the line used to be like 5 minutes all the time. And because they implemented in Fast Pass, it's gone to like 25 minutes. And that ride is never worth 25 minutes.
no.
Um,
Luckily, we just walked on when I was there.
that's the thing. You just walk on it. But I also think they might have, Disney's known for inflating their wait times just to make sure that people don't overcrowd it. And I think that's probably what they're doing because no one wants to ride that ride, you know? Like it's just one of those like whatever, you ride on that. And yeah, so fast passes, love them, hate them. Let us know below. All right, Zach, where are we going next? Are we going somewhere
Children.
good? Oh. If you're listening right now, I'm convulsing with happiness. This one's gonna push some buttons. Doing a little dance right now, Zach. Do your little dance. Do your little more childless millennial dance. Dun, dun, dun. Just shelling that cash out for things we don't
Yeah,
need.
just drinking.
Just drinking, eating, doing whatever we want at Disney World because we're childless millennials. Remember when that happened and that whole like thing went out on the internet? Because that
That
one
blew up.
girl, yeah, that one girl was like, I hate childless millennials at Disneyland. You shouldn't be this. And then like t-shirts. There was a good one where it was like, I think a pretzel was it was something. There was some money made off of that, that's for sure. Okay, so then since you brought it up, you go first.
Um, so I don't
What's
know
the
how to.
opinion though? What's the unpopular? What are we? What's the? Let's make a statement opinion,
All right,
and then we'll progress after that.
for me, I think
Yeah,
there should be like a slight age limit to the parks.
I agree. Infants should not be at the park.
No,
If your brain cannot register memories, I don't think you should be at the park.
no,
And there are reasons though. There are legit medical reasons. I've seen newborns at the park. And now, of course, if any mothers and fathers are listening, there's a difference between. There's going to be definitely harsh lines on this one. Um, but if your child is under 1, that's like even a hard like you're subjecting them to a lot of things they've never dealt with before. Loud noises, germs, especially nowadays when the pandemic that we're dealing with. Um, like what are you doing? I
yeah,
get it, they get in for free, and I understand that there's certain things like, okay, you have a family, you have another child most likely if you have one and you're going to Disneyland or Disney World, and so this is the only time you can go. But I feel like maybe wait a little bit, maybe
yeah,
do something different. Don't or leave the child at home with the babysitter. Um,
or
it's
like,
not a good time.
yeah,
Like I kind of want to like reach out. If you were a family that brought an infant to the park, realistically, did you have a good time? And don't sugarcoat this and be
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, it was amazing."
You didn't. Be
You
real.
didn't. You didn't have a good time. We see these people. We see them all the time. Even with young kids that are like who can't walk. You see them not having a good
Yeah,
time,
just throwing fits.
throwing fits. They can't handle it. Their bodies can't handle walking 17 miles in a day in
Yeah.
80, 90-degree weather.
So like, what do you think this age limit should be?
3 years old. I think.
Well, I was thinking like
Well,
6 or 7.
so I do have. So there's a few ways I can go on this. I think I'm understanding on that a 3-year-old can't retain the memories. But like there are situations in families where you have to kind of situation. You kind of like, okay, we're in this weird position. If it was a perfect world, yes, 6 or 7 where they don't need a stroller, which is another
Yeah,
topic that we need to talk
yeah.
about.
Let's go right into that afterwards.
Yeah, so they don't need a stroller. They can walk around all day. They can talk. They can understand. They can reason. They're able to know what's going on. If my parents brought me to Disney World when I was 4 years old and I didn't have the memories, and they're like, "Oh, did you ever go to Disney World? Yeah, we brought you when you were 4." And you're like, "Oh, thanks a lot, assholes," because I don't remember any of it.
Yep.
And every time someone's been like, "Oh, have you ever been here?" They're like, "No, yeah, when I was young, when I was like 4, but I don't remember any of it." I'm like,
Yeah. Why did your parents let you go?
why I think it comes into being selfish. I think a lot of parents want to go because now they're like, well, we're over the whole infant thing, and we have this time, we've built up some money, so let's go on a vacation. But
Yeah.
we have this 3-year-old anchor that's around our ankles. Ooh. And we can't find a babysitter for a week, so we got to bring along our child.
Yep.
I get it. Every situation's different. And then they get in for free after a certain point, under a certain point, but
Yeah.
you're not having a good time.
No.
No.
Although thinking back on it, like my earliest theme park memories were from when I was 5, and I
5.
I barely remember it.
Yeah.
That was a Universal.
Yeah.
But
That's a hard park for a 5-year-old.
oh, I one of my memories was getting the shit scared out of me from Jaws.
Yeah, that's a intent. That's another thing. Psychologically,
Yeah, you remember the intense stuff. I remember that. I
yeah,
remember getting separated from my dad in confrontation.
yeah, and that's another crazy ride too. I remember that ride. Oh, that's some nostalgia right there. Like, but the thing is like, don't. It is like Disneyland, Disney World is meant for children, but it's not infant children we're talking about. There are, I mean, like if you think about it, all the major e-ticket attractions are not meant for a 4-year-old.
No, not at all.
You need to be a certain height. I think, you know what? Honestly, it might even be that.
Be a height requirement instead of age requirement.
I mean, that's a difficult situation because you can go into the park and still enjoy it without going on any rides. That's
Yeah,
100%. You can do that. But if you're 1 to 3, I say don't bring your child. Um, you never know what's gonna. It's just unfair. I think it's unfair to most the parents and the child. Like they aren't going to be able to remember that. And hopefully they get to go back, but it might not be.
yeah, and it's
Um,
just so different from them that's why they're throwing this fit. Like they don't
yeah,
understand why they're waiting 2 hours for this ride.
in the baking sun, and they can't do anything. They just can't be at home and swaddled and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's so many things you can go off on this, which is where we're going to go and segue into strollers. Fuck you, strollers.
Yes.
They just implemented that rule now. That was like you can't have double strollers or the big giant ones that basically are
Or
like
like
a tank.
if it's double, I think it has to be like back to
Yeah,
back, not side by
yeah.
side like that.
They're still breaking the rules hard. Like we
Oh
saw
yeah.
that, and they were like bringing those full on. We could take both you and I could take a nap in the back of these things and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, cart me around."
It's like a full on vehicle.
It is. And I'm like, you putting this all in your car and bringing it around with you? Like, what else you got in there? Meanwhile, we're like not wanting to bring backpacks in. And we're like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And everyone else. One of my other friends, we went to Universal together, and it was with the family, and they had like there was. I'll tell you what, it was most different experience I've ever had. My two friends, it was both of their families, and they have passes to the park 'cause it's here in uh, LA. It's right down the road from Burbank or whatever. And I met up with them. So there was like 5 kids total and like 4 adults, and then me tagging along as the 17th wheel. They had snacks, they had drinks, they had everything all packed up. And I was like, I just showed up with like myself and being like, "Hey guys, who wants a drink?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "We can have drinks, but we have to take care of children." And I'll tell you what, that was the most difficult time I've had at a theme park ever. We have it good. We have it good.
Yeah.
Um, but there was the only reason why it was a little bit more difficult is because there was one really young child, and the child couldn't handle it. I think probably like 3 or 4-ish, around that age of just like needs nap, needs carries, needs a stroller, that kind of stuff. It just was not. They were not able to handle it, and they've been there many, many times. So they honestly had a 4-day visit where they could be spending a whole day in the park, but they couldn't because of the child.
Yep.
And that gets me onto the stroller. Gets us onto the strollers. I think strollers and electric vehicles. There's always need for certain electric vehicles,
Yeah. Of course.
but there are a lot of people who take big advantage of that.
Oh yeah.
And this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about the people who need them, because there's always a need for certain things. It's the people who take advantage of this, but they need to even go stricter on strollers. Honestly, my opinion, get rid of them altogether.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Just
if you need a stroller, you shouldn't be at the park.
yeah, there's in the way,
Well, this
especially when
is
it comes time for like parades and stuff.
oh, they're
Like,
always in the way.
I'll tell you a story about Alex Arjun that he told
Yeah,
me.
naming names now. You're
Yeah,
famous, Alex.
he told me one time they were at Epcot for food and wine, so
Yeah,
they were
a,
drinking, you know.
a very adult thing.
Yeah,
Food
and
and wine.
he was telling me there was strollers everywhere, and he was just so drunk and getting angry at tripping over them that he took one and he threw it. He
Oh.
got so mad he threw a damn stroller.
I have a similar story. One of my friends that you know, a big guy that I go on vacations with a lot. Won't name his name, you know, but he was talking about how people were in Epcot at the Wine and Cheese Festival, and the opposite of, Alex was throwing strollers. He was seeing people being so belligerently drunk with their children, where it was like they were, like one hand on the stroller, one hand on their beer, just like stumbling along and then vomiting. And you're like, how is this a good environment for children? Like,
Yeah,
it's the Wine and Cheese Festival. People are just getting effed up. No, I like how I just said effed up when I just swore a million times beforehand. Just like,
yeah. Like,
yeah, strollers got to go, especially the
or
giant ones.
here's a way to maybe combat that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Disney should have some like child care.
They should. Well,
They might have it already, but like at the hotels that you're staying at,
the thing is,
drop
yeah,
something like, I don't know, drop your kid off, go have your good time.
yeah, and be like, okay, bye. I'm like a cruise ship almost, or something like that.
Yeah,
Um, I agree with you. I think that'd cost a lot more money, and people would complain, so they're just gonna bring their kids in the park anyways. But I'll tell you what, when we went to Tokyo Disney and Tokyo Disney Sea, that was the one time they have literally no strollers, zero, and it was like I remember that was one of the one things that I specifically remember how there was no electronic vehicles for like overweight or because in America we do have an obesity problem, and there's a lot of people who have to use those strollers, like those electric vehicles. And in Japan there was no strollers and no electric vehicles, and everyone was walking, even the little children, like little children.
yeah. They're also probably way more disciplined than U.S. children.
It was crazy different. um I remember being in the line. So because of in Japan, their fast pass system. I was American, so I couldn't go on the app. You can't download the app or whatever. Like you have it. There's something weird where it's only people in Japan can use the fast pass system over the phone. So they still very much use the fast pass system via the tickets. There was a line down the tunnel that was probably 2,000 people deep, and we got through the fast pass line in 15 minutes. That's how efficient they were. I remember looking at this line, and I'm with Tim, and I'm just like, holy cow, this is going to be forever. 15 minutes later, we're like, oh, we got to pass now.
Hmm.
That's just how efficient they were and how everything was so streamlined. It was amazing. I love that. Disney Sea is the coolest park. Um, I do want to go to Shanghai, but I would definitely go back to Disney Sea any time of the day. On top of that, guess how much? Did I ever tell you how much Disney is in Japan?
No,
$70
damn.
for one. Like, so we went to both parks in one day. I'm like, it's the price of one park, and I was like, this is amazing. And the like Disney Sea and Tokyo Disneyland are like just kind of like a monorail trail of like, so you're going from Magic Kingdom to like the opposite end of the tram right there. So it's kind of like it's just pretty much like the same rotation where everything's in the middle, and then
Yeah,
so it's not like California Adventure where it's right across the street, but it was the most organized park I've ever been to, and there was no strollers, there was no electric vehicles, and it was nice. Everyone was like, even the lines to get in, because for some reason we were just like we showed up and we are just waiting in line for it to open. We had no idea when it opened, but we're supposed to open at this certain point. But I think they had something going on. I think it was a holiday. But the line was like one in front of another, not like this massive crowd that happens,
Oh
which
yeah.
can happen. When we went to California or Disneyland for the opening, it was pretty, straight and narrow, but sometimes, it could just be a massive horde of people and people are cutting. None of that happened at Tokyo. And I was just like, these people, they just know how to do it. They just know what it's like to have multiple
Oh
crowds.
yeah.
And
So much
so,
more discipline there.
oh yeah, get rid of strollers. Get rid of them. If you like, we've walked near Toontown, and it's just it's a, it's so many strollers. First off, you guys are gonna get your stuff stolen like easily. I don't know why
Yeah.
people aren't stealing strollers left and right there.
You're gonna get jumped in Toontown too.
I mean, you know how busy and how ghetto Toontown is getting these days. Stay away from Toontown. You're
Yeah.
gonna get jumped. Um. All right. So yeah, strollers, guys. Strollers, infants. See you later. Bye. Unpopular opinions in the year 2000. That's a Conan O'Brien thing. It's popped in my brain. Okay, so that's infants and strollers gone. What else you got? Let's go.
Uh,
It's be a long one.
yeah, you want to get onto the rides?
Yeah. Birdman that hand like that. Let's go. What's the topic? Unpopular opinion. Boom.
Let's just do
Rides
rides that need to go.
rides that need to go. This is where it happens.
You
We
want to
should just
start with your
yes. Okay, hold
what
on.
made
No,
this
I'm
whole
not gonna.
podcast
No,
happen?
I'm not gonna. Okay, so there was a reason why this podcast is happening now, is because of something that I posted onto the Disneylanders Facebook page today. But I'm not gonna get into that yet. I think that's
All
probably
right,
be the last thing we talk about. I think
the
that's probably
last
be
ride.
like the last frontier because we're already probably at about 45 minutes in this episode. Um, rides that need to go. Should we start in a park? Should we start in Disney? Let's start in Disney World because the ones in Disneyland are gonna hurt more.
Okay.
Um, so you go. I know you have way more time in Disney World. So how about you go first? Which rides do you need? Which rides need to go?
All right. I'll
Or
start
be
like
improved? Like or no,
yeah.
go. They need to go.
Start at Epcot.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's
this
go.
one's gonna make a lot of people angry,
All right, make
but
sure you downvote on this guy.
Journey into the Imagination.
Never been on it.
Uh,
Oh wait, where's that one?
it's in like the pyramid building.
It's not the
With
sphere,
Figment.
right? Yeah.
It's with Figment,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is why a lot of people love that ride.
Because
I,
he was such a big thing.
yeah, I love Figment. I love that character, but that ride sucks. Sorry.
I feel like most of Epcot sucks. Besides the booze, like I think I've been to Epcot twice in the multiple times I've been to it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I get why it was built. No, hold on. Let me pause that. I understand the original version of Epcot and how it was supposed to be this utopia. It is not that. It's just drinking around the world now. Um,
Which
and then now we're gonna get a adventures ride there.
yeah, or Guardians.
Guardians doesn't make any
Which
damn sense.
no, but I'm all for it.
Me too. I want more
Like
rides.
that's another unpopular opinion. We'll keep it at Epcot. The changes at Epcot are good for the park.
They are good for the park, but they don't make sense for the park.
I don't care.
No, I don't care either. Cause like I want that. There's so much more to be done at Epcot that they're not doing. I feel like Epcot's the redheaded stepchild of Disney. Where also, what's the one in the sphere? The
Spaceship
whatever.
Earth.
That's stupid. It's so
I,
stupid.
I like that.
Well, you know what? I
It's
wrote
getting
it
a
for the.
complete overhaul though.
Yeah,
So
that's I know. Like the end is like, where are you gonna go? Bop, bop, bop. And you're like, okay, well,
I love
yeah. Well, I wrote it for the first time ever last year, and I was like, this is dumb.
it's just a nostalgia thing for most people.
Exactly, which we'll get into later. Foreshadowing. um, yeah. Then, come on, Epcot. Like you are good though. They are very good at the whole food, wine, beer thing.
All the festivals.
Yeah, it's so
There's one
good.
going on pretty much constantly. You
Well,
got
that's
Food and Wine, Flower and Garden, Festival of the Arts, and they're going for months and months at it.
months. But that's the only thing they got going for them. You don't have much else going for you.
Yeah,
And but
that's why you got to
what?
put these exciting attractions in, like a Guardians coaster.
Yeah,
They're getting Ratatouille.
that'll be fun. I've seen the videos for that one over in Paris, and that looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
And that's almost done, actually. I think that's actually done. They're just doing some stuff to the outside because I know they put it onto um their app.
okay.
So what was our unpopular opinion on Epcot?
I started with Figment, Journey
Oh
of the
yeah, it sucks.
Imagination. That ride sucks.
Yeah,
I love the character of Figment.
yeah,
I think the ride should go. Figment should stay as like Epcot's mascot or something.
yeah. But they don't ever put them out anymore. They used to all the time, and then
He's
they
on
stopped
all of the
them.
festival merchandise now.
You're like, hmm,
Yeah. Or update it. Make it
yeah.
better.
There's definitely a lot of things they could
Bring
do better in Epcot.
bring the Dream Finder back. It's from
Yeah.
the original Figment ride.
I mean, you have all these great lands that you could make rides based off of. Like they are going to do with Ratatouille. Like that should be the future. Like you have a ride based off of Paris, and Ratatouille is based in Paris and that kind of stuff. And I know they have well, the Norway ride is now the Frozen ride. But I did watch a ride through on that, and that looks pretty cool, actually. I never ridden the Norway one, so I've never been on any of them.
I have.
Um,
I loved it. It
it
was
was,
unique. But
yeah,
I
well,
get it.
the boat goes, yeah, it's an IP. You got to keep up with your IPs.
Yeah.
Either way, the ride now still looks not bad, is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. It
Yeah.
still looks, but like, why don't we have a ride like that in each land?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
this is where you put your adventure. What's Animal Kingdom, not Matterhorn.
Expedition Everest.
Yeah, this is where you put that kind of stuff. Those like roller coasters, and it seems like they got plenty of space over there. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
when they first built it, they left room for expansion, which they haven't done.
Yeah, so it seems like it's just being left behind.
But now they have the whole future world takeover or
Yeah. Well,
redone.
can't wait for the Westworld takeover, and there's robots running around. And Dolores comes, and we all get killed. Yeah. So I agree with you. A lot of stuff in Epcot
Yeah.
needs to be changed. Epcot, I don't know. There's a lot of love for it, but I don't.
If you want to stay at Epcot, I'm gonna Soarin'. I don't like Soarin'.
Wait, Soren's at Epcot?
Yes.
Yes, this was also on my list. Soren could eat my butthole. Okay, it sucked. It's stupid. And I know I've been on Soren in multiple versions. Actually, there's 3 versions of Soren. There's California, there's the World, and then there's Flight of Passage. What? Flight of Passage is just Soren 2.0.
That one I'll have to disagree with you on.
Listen, I'll fight you right now.
We discussed that before.
Yeah, I know we have. But yeah, Soren is not. Soren is only good if you get the right seat and the right row. That's it. If you do not get any of those, Soren is not good. It just you either get this weird skewed perspective, or
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, I smell the smell. Oh.
Yeah, with this fan blowing in my face.
Yeah, I remember the last time I went on, I was kind of like, what happens if this thing gets stuck? I gotta fall like 30 feet? That's gonna suck. No, it's not cool. It's not good. I didn't realize Soren was in Epcot.
Yep. It's in
That's how much I don't visit Epcot.
it's in the land area.
Oh, is it? I did go to the what's the aquarium one? Finding Nemo.
The Nemo one. Yeah.
That was pretty neat. I liked how they updated it and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know what it was before. It must have been boring as hell.
I don't remember.
No, but it was pretty cool that he used projection to,
Yeah.
update that. So that was pretty neat. I did
Yeah, and
like
then you
that.
go right into an actual aquarium.
That was
See,
actually really cool. Yeah, I did enjoy that. I think that's one of those experiences where like they're trying to be more like real with the world, like rather than us being fantasy land, that kind of stuff. We're like in real world. And I feel like you kind of miss that with the other, like you're supposed to have the same sense when you're in Japan or Italy or whatever, but you don't really get that. You just kind of get a facade of it, where this is actually like real life learning. And I thought that's like kind of what Epcot was all supposed to be about, this learning
yeah.
and that kind of stuff, but it's not anymore. You're not learning anything at Epcot. You're just eating
Uh,
and drinking,
I mean, it's the stuff's still there for you to learn, but no one really does it anymore.
No, they don't want to learn. No one wants to learn when they go into a theme park. So you got to figure out how to do that. Okay. Are we going into the big one? Is this it? Oh, wait. More rides. More rides that
Yeah.
don't need to be here. Okay, so we're in Disney World still. Um, Disney World. The whole entire I hate to say this because I do love it, but I also hate it. I think the Dinosaur Land USA was always out of place.
Yeah.
I understand where they were coming from, where you're like you have animal kingdoms, you have all these animals, you have the prehistoric animals, right? You have dinosaurs and that kind of stuff. However, how they did it feels so like they kind of made it. They're like
It's a carnival. It's a carnival area.
dinosaurs are for kids, guys, and you're like, yeah,
And they have the one attraction, just the
yeah,
counterpart to Indiana Jones, that same ride system,
yeah, same ride system, yeah.
but it's not as good.
No, definitely
Nowhere
not.
near as good.
No, and how I kind of like put Dinosaur Land. Is it like Dinosaur Land USA? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Dino Land USA.
Yeah, that it's like you're going to Buffalo Wild Wings, right? You're gonna eat some buffalo wings or some chicken wings, and then you go home and you get the dinosaur shaped chicken fingers from Banquet, and that's what they got. That's what we got. We didn't get the good wings. We didn't get the good wings. We didn't get the good stuff. We didn't go to McDonald's and get the chicken nugs. We got the banquet meal dinosaur shaped crap chicken nuggets. And that's what Disney gave us with dinosaurs. It was kind of like they were like, we need to put prehistoric stuff in here, but how do we do it? Let's make it kitty. But that like takes away from the seriousness of history. It kind of makes like it didn't happen, like that's what I hate about that. And I understand that they were probably up against some sort of maybe religious stuff going on or that kind of whatever, but
Either that or
it's
time restraints, or like
something.
what kind of attractions can we do? Carnival rides, throw them in there.
It just it could have been done so much cooler, so much better, so many other things, or not even include it. Just have another land or another part of that park being
Yeah,
something else.
there was supposed to be a mythical creatures area.
Yes, there was, which I would have loved way more because you would have been doing so many other things with that land.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that whole area I think needs to just go. I don't think they need it. Just get it
yeah.
out of here.
All right.
It's your turn now.
Okay. Let's hop over to Magic Kingdom.
All right.
Which one should I do first? I got a couple in Magic Kingdom.
Alrighty.
They're on both parks.
Okay.
So
We're on both parks now. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
both parks. I guess we'll start off with that Small World.
I don't get it. No. You know what? You say what you need to say.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it. I
It's
don't get it.
annoying. It's boring.
Okay, here's conspiracy theory, Andrew. Andrew thinks, in case you didn't know that was me, I don't think we introduced ourselves. That they're pumping in subliminal messages during that stuff. I'll tell you why. Every time I've ridden that ride, because it's like what 8.5 minutes,
Yeah, it's
I've
long.
and I don't think it's like the monotony or whatever. Excuse me. I have felt so sleepy and dazed and confused every time I've ridden that ride, where I'm like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
it could be the middle of the day and I'm like pumped up to do stuff, and also I get that ride, I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
why does that ride exist? And I
It's
remember
it
what
shows diversity. Like
I
that's cool about it. I get
yeah,
it.
there was. Oh no, I believe it was for. So I remember watching the Imagineering story, and I believe it was for the World's Fair. That's why they made it, if I remember correctly, which I probably am not. But it was made for the World's Fair, and one of the main ladies at Disney was the one that created everyone, and she's like one of the main old school people, created all of the outfits and that kind of stuff. So if I remember correctly, that's what it was for. But this is like 60 years later, which we're gonna get into later. Um, why? Why is it still a thing? Why are we still here?
Yeah. Just
Everyone else has progressed.
caters to the children, I guess. Even though they probably don't know what's going on.
No,
Like,
kids don't
hey,
want to
some
see
cool
that.
puppets. Whatever.
They're so creepy.
Yeah. Like, have you seen Escape from Tomorrow?
I haven't seen. I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It's where like they filmed a movie inside of Disneyland without.
Yeah.
I think I watched it a long time ago, but I don't
Yeah.
remember it.
They do some creepy stuff with Small World.
I gotta. Of course. Why wouldn't you? Like,
Like there's like creepy faces and like zooms in real quick.
yeah, because it's all
Like
creepy. Those are
shit.
all creepy ass. There's creepy. It's just dolls. I would not want to be stuck on that ride. Imagine getting stuck on that for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
You
no
go
thanks.
crazy. There's a reason why there's like nobody in that ride either. Like if you think about that, the only people that are like, it's probably people watching on cameras, which is probably like just straight up shut off from audio, and there's the people outside. Nobody's in there listening to that song for 20 like 8 hours a day because they would go crazy. Because
Yeah.
the song doesn't start until you get inside the ride. Um.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I agree with you. That ride can go to hell. I don't give a fuck about it. What else we got?
So if we're sticking at Disney World, we can
Yeah,
hop right across the road there to Peter Pan.
always busy.
It's the shortest ride in the park, always has the longest line.
Never got that. Never understood it. Um,
It's not that good.
it's just because you're flying. I'm trying to process in my brain the appeal of that, and I have no idea. I
Yeah,
really
I've
don't.
I think I've only ridden it like 2 or 3 times.
Did
The
we
first
ride it
time,
at Disney World or Disneyland?
I don't think so.
No, I'm trying to remember the last time I rode it, and I think it was at the Magic Kingdom, and it was for that, I think, Christmas thing or whatever. I think that's when I rode it last.
Yeah, that's probably the only time the wait's less than 90 minutes.
And you get on it, and you're just like, it's just like a kind of like an ET replica. It is. They're definitely like Peter Pan and ET are the same like kind of system where it's like you're floating up top
Yeah.
and you're coming over.
ET is way better though.
Yeah, I agree. Because
At
you
least
got
in
that
ET
smell.
you're going through scenes. With Peter
Yeah,
Pan, you're just looking down the whole
yeah.
time.
And kids are like, "Ooh, I'm fine."
Yeah. But like I remember the first time I rode it, I'm like, okay, wait minutes, 20 minutes, let's see what all the fuss is about. I'm like,
No,
this
nothing.
is
It's
it.
not worth
What?
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that ride can go to hell. Um, that's just gonna spark so much controversy. That whole if I just saying that alone. Sorry guys, tell me why it's good, and I'll tell you why it's not. Because most likely you're gonna say, well, because I wrote it as a child. That's fine. Guess what? You're not kids anymore. The new kids. No, this is a whole other. We're almost there. We're almost there. Let's be the very end where no one listens to it.
Yeah.
What else we got? What else? What other rides at
Uh,
Disney World? World.
uh, Another one that's both parks. I got Autotopia / Tomorrowland Speedway.
That's been on the list for a lot of people. I think that might be. There's been talks of like Elon Musk taking it over and being it like Tesla and that kind of stuff. I don't understand the need for it anymore. That is such a bad ride.
And they're still
Uh,
running it on gasoline and stuff.
yeah, it's like the go-karts at this place we used to work at, both me and Zach. And you're like, what are you doing? Like it's just nasty, it smells, it's hot, it's slow, it's no one's having fun. It's just like
Yeah.
I get kids get to do this, but you're like, no one cares.
Yeah, you can update that. Like,
You can update that a lot. It's very easy to update that. It'd be
yeah,
more
like
cost
make
efficient.
a tamer version of like the Cars ride at Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
But
And
like you can actually drive them or
yeah, or
something
just
like
have the
that.
ability to just do back and forth. And you already have the system in place. I'm sure people have worked on it many times. I just think it's Disney has this hold of they don't. I love how we're talking about Disney, and I'm like Cabana Bay. I miss Cabana Bay so much. I love Cabana Bay with all
Yeah.
my heart. It's my favorite hotel. Cabana Bay, if you're listening, we will definitely review all of your hotels. Um,
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, Autopia sucks. It's the worst. It's just stinky and messy. There's
Yeah.
no shade in Disneyland, so you just are underneath just sun the whole time. Definitely waited for that ride and been like, it says like 15 minutes and you're just like a half an hour and you're just in straight direct sunlight. And you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And then you get there and you just video chatting about how awful it is.
Yeah. I get it for the kids. They get to drive a car, but
It's not cool. It
no.
probably was at one time,
Yeah.
back when there was Model Ts and people etched on stone. That was probably when it was cool. But now it's not because I have this thing called video games. Like kids have so many things. Why would
Yeah.
they want to drive a shitty car that goes 2 miles an hour around a track and then see Osmo from the 90s being like, I'm a robot? Yeah. Nope. Like, so many things. Okay, we got that one out of the way.
I think I got one more.
Okay, then we got to get another drink because then we're going to go into this whole, the good stuff.
All right. My last one for Disney World. I don't know if it's in the other park or not, but Hall of Presidents.
Never been on it. So this is all
It's
you.
it's just an animatronic show with a screen behind them.
And it's
Like,
like Bill and Ted, right? Like
yeah, you got
party
the
on dudes.
yeah. Like, I don't want to hear no presidents fucking ramble on.
At Disney World, like I'm at a theme park, bro. Like, wait,
Yeah.
that
Like, I get it. The Abraham Lincoln animatronic was cool, like, what, 50 years ago?
yeah, when they had the how they
But
did it, whatever, yeah.
yeah, it's just boring now. I don't want to go hear Donald Trump fucking spout his bullshit.
You just made this thing political, you asshole.
I did. We'll, we'll
No,
leave it
no.
at that.
Well, he's in it too, right? Like he's in the
Yeah.
new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear any political. Like we're at a theme park to get away from life. Why do we want to go to a place where we either like relive the history or like no one wants that.
No.
No one wants to go there.
Like,
And then the janky robotics.
yeah. Like, they had the Muppets Colonial Time show in that same area. I'd rather see that any day
It's Muppets.
than
Yeah, of course.
presidents spout some bullshit.
Hey, remember that time I fucked up a lot? Yeah. And you're like, this is the reason why I can't have things. I have ASL.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear that.
So, yeah, Hall of Presidents. It sucks.
Well, never been there, never gonna. So maybe
Do it
one
just
day.
once. I want to see your review of it afterwards.
Well, there is one time I've done one thing once, and it was Sleeping Beauty's. I've told you this story, right? With our friend Donald.
Maybe.
Not the duck. It was, what is it? It's Sleeping Beauty's castle. It's with Belle and the Beast, and you go into it, and the window turns from a window to a door, which is really cool. This is, I don't know where I was going with this. Anyways, sorry guys, I'm rambling on because of rum. But we're gonna be on to our next one in just a second, probably our finale of the show. Let's talk about rides do not need to exist at Disneyland. I think I'll probably take over on this one.
Yeah.
This is, I didn't write anything down for this because I have one specific ride in mind for this, because we already went over a few rides that are both here and
Both
there, and
parks.
this is probably the one ride that doesn't overlap the parks, but is also not needed. And it's going to bring some heat because it did today when I mentioned it into one of the groups.
Yes, this is the whole reason we're doing this.
One of the
episode.
yes, this is literally the whole reason. So today, someone had posted on one of the Disneyland groups on Facebook that this certain ride that we're about to announce is needing an upgrade, and I posted that it didn't. So basically, the ride that doesn't need to be upgraded, it needs to be completely torn down, which is definitely a statement, is the Matterhorn. And the Matterhorn has been a staple for Disneyland and the original for about 60 years now. It's been 60 years and like 4 months, I believe. It is a backbreaker. I get it that it is a staple to the skyline of Disneyland. I understand that completely. This is going to bring us into another tangent that we're going to go off into that's going to finalize this whole thing. That ride doesn't live up to the standards of today. I think there's a lot of rides that don't live up to the standards of today for Disneyland. There's Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, all your major staples. I don't think the technology lives up to it, and it's slightly behind. They're keeping up, but it's not there.
They get constant upgrades, but
They do, but they're no Rise of the Resistance is what I'm trying to say. They're not that next level. It's more of a, we keep them there because they're nostalgia for all of our park goers. So with it being said, the Matterhorn is one that I think doesn't need to be there. We have the Everest ride in right? Is that what it's called, Zach?
yeah, Expedition Everest.
Expedition Everest, which I think is the right version of the Matterhorn. I think they're like, it is. That's all it is. It's 2.0. It's Matterhorn 2.0.
Yeah.
And
I was told my one time that I rode the Matterhorn was when I came and visited.
Yeah.
And everyone talked it up. I was expecting something like Expedition Everest, and I was just like, what?
This is it. Yeah.
My back is broken.
Yeah, your back is broken. You're in an old ride system. You can tell that it's 60 years old. You can definitely tell.
Oh yeah,
Poor guys back in the day.
60 years old.
Oh, you can. And they got like the Swiss Alps thing, and like
I don't mind, but like the ride itself.
Yeah, it's fine. But you can tell it's old. You can feel it's old, even if they've upgraded it. You're like, this is not what you expect from a Disneyland ride. And there's a lot of people who have fought me on this, and I understand it because they wrote it as a child, and they're that kind of stuff. But that ride, I've never met anybody who has ridden it for the first time and been like, this is amazing. Whereas if you go on Cars, Flight of Passage, all the new Disneyland rides, they're like, this is amazing. So I'm not saying it's a bad ride. I'm just saying it doesn't live up to the expectations that Disney has put out.
I'll say it's a bad ride.
It's not a good ride. Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. So then let's go into the final boss of this entire podcast. And I'm not even going to put an unpopular opinion on this. It's going to be a blank statement. I don't even know how to put this into this, but nostalgia is killing Disneyland. Sorry, guys. That's probably how the best way to put it, I guess, maybe. You have rides like Matterhorn. All your major old e-tickets are not living up to the technologies of today. That every time something changes in Disneyland, people go online and they just spout bad things. I hate this, I hate that, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think people are realizing that they're not the main demographic anymore. That people, us childless millennials, people who are past that age, are not who they're looking for. They're looking for the group below us that will bring their children into the next 60 years. And unfortunately, I think we have to get past that point of the Matterhorns to where it's been 60 years. 60 years for a ride is insane. Who does a ride for six? No other park. I don't know any other parks that do that kind of length. And I don't know if you agree with me, Zach, but it's just like these rides either need to be super updated, which they have been. If you look at Pirates of the Caribbean, you look at Pirates of the Caribbean Shanghai, those are two different rides. Same thing, but
Yeah.
like Pirates of the Caribbean Shanghai is crazy. And I agree though, like there's a place for it. Like Haunted Mansion in bones, my bones is like, and I know you probably agree with me, Zach, for us in Halloween is like dug into me. However, you ride that and you're like, I get it, but I want something more. Whereas you watch the ride videos for Mystic Manor and you see what can be done with that whole type of situation. And Zach, did we ride the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
Which one do you like better? Nightmare Before Christmas or Haunted Mansion?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, right? So the fact that it's
Yeah.
tough is crazy because I've also had this dilemma in my brain, and I've come to the conclusion because I see where the technology or the fun could be had, and that's I think where my brain starts to visualize that Disney engineers can do more.
Yeah.
So that's why Nightmare Before Christmas wins for me. Like, it really does. Because I
Yeah.
can see the innovation that happens and the updatedness where nostalgia would, if people who would get something would change from the Haunted Mansion, people would just freak out, you know?
Yeah. I think I'm there with those people for that specific ride.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still enjoy it just as much as I did the first time, but I loved Nightmare Before Christmas. But I
Yes.
also love Haunted Mansion by itself.
Yes. I agree. I do both as well. But I think we're our own worst enemy when it comes to the parks. And that's another issue too, where I think the parks aren't progressing as fast as they should be, because like compared to other parks. Disney, I feel like, is ahead but also behind at the same time. They're ahead on Rise of the Resistance. You know, they're way ahead on that one. That one they knocked out of
Oh,
the park. That
yeah.
was a crazy experience. But I feel like we should have had that type of immersion 5 to 10 years ago. But because of our past tendencies to want the things that we cherish and hold dear, they're moving slower than they should be. Whereas Universal kind of just goes, let's fling it at the board and hopefully it sticks. And a lot of times they nail it out of the park. And I think with this new park, they're gonna. I'm hoping this new park lights a fire under Disney's ass.
Oh, it for sure will. Like Nintendo alone
it's going to be the next generation land, not just like Pandora Land was awesome. That was really cool. They did a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, but I think the interaction wise with Nintendo Land is just gonna kind of hopefully step their game up for Disney, because when Disney does it right, they can do it real right, like next level. And it just it shows. And I think, like what I was just trying to say, is like nostalgia definitely is a we the people who look back on it are having a hard time realizing they're not the generation that Disney's looking at, and I think that's a hard pill to swallow. Um, and I have had big backlash on this, and I know I'm just talking right now because I just have a lot of opinions on this because I've done it. I've talked about this a lot.
Title of this podcast: Unpopular Opinions.
Yep.
Keep it going.
Yeah, and I just think that we're holding ourselves back because we don't want to give up the things that we cherish dearly. I mean, time is a thing that we only get, there's a finite amount of time. So when it comes to nostalgia, you want to hold on to those moments. So when you see something that you loved and cherished dearly go away, it's going to hurt.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll go over to Universal for a second. Jaws is my all-time favorite
Yeah.
theme park attraction. And when that went away, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, fuck.
It sucks. Whenever that happens, that's going to suck. But we know, both of you and I know that like E.T. is aged horribly. Like it is not like, of course, yeah, like you ride it, you want to ride it, that's what you're gonna ride. But like you go into Gringotts and you're like, where am I compared to ET? And those are you can tell the decades of time in there. Doesn't mean they're bad or good. Doesn't mean anything. However, it does mean that I want people who are not what we've experienced, who are not us, to experience something new. I don't want them to be held back, because we do have the technology to give them something crazier and even more enjoyable. And I want the future to relieve these moments. 60 years is a long time. That is so long. That's not even compared to Universal years. That's like, those are two different things.
Oh yeah.
60 years in Universal time is like that person has lived 3 lives. Like that's even then, a confrontation was probably like 15, 20 maybe.
Yeah. Park opened in like 90, 91.
Yeah, and
Just
like,
as old as I am.
yeah, we're on 30 years for that. And yet these same rides have been around for 60 plus years. So there has to be a progression at some point where you say, hey guys, it's been a good run. We got our money times 14 million, but let's upgrade this. Let's build something new. Let's take what we have that's good and then build it. The problem for me is that I see these rides and it's 1960, 1950, and I go, okay, so they built this ride. You're telling me in the past 60 years that you're like, this is the best we can do. No, we went to the moon back then, and now we're flying spaceships to Mars. There's a difference between those two eras. So let's go there. I want the Mars mission. I want mission Matterhorn to Mars. That's what I want. I don't want backbreaking labor because they tried to fix the ride for the past 50 years. Like it's
See, I think it's like two different things that you're talking about.
it
Like
is. It is.
Matterhorn is trash. Haunted Mansion is amazing.
True, but it's
So,
because you have nostalgia points going on with the Haunted Mansion. There's people who don't like spooky things, so they don't
so,
want the Haunted Mansion.
but then like you get people complaining about the upgrades that they do. I don't mind them. Like people are
No,
complaining about Madame Leota scene. It went from a ball on the table to a floating ball. People made such a huge deal out of that.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
And then
yeah.
Even if the floating effect doesn't work, it's back on the table.
It's I think one of the biggest ones, and you rode it personally, is the Tower of. Well, you didn't ride the Tower of Terror beforehand, but turning it into Guardians of the Galaxy. They updated the
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
another thing we should have touched on. But
We should have.
I
Um,
so when I first heard about Tower of Terror being turned into Guardians, I was like, that's stupid.
yep.
But after riding it, I'm like, I don't care. This was fun. Do
It's
it at the
it's
other park.
it's better. It's better. I'm sorry, it's better. It's so much more fun, and I feel like that ride too has been one of the most. We how many times did we ride it? We rode it a couple times.
Yeah,
But the crowd interaction is crazy on that one, where
yeah. It's like
everyone's
high energy, like,
yeah,
and then at Tower of Terror, it's like dark room, maybe a door opens.
boop, and then you're going up and down a couple
Yeah,
times.
like
Yeah.
I do like the part where you go forwards.
Yes. Well, because also in Orlando it's different because you do go forward, and that's the one part that I do love so much more is because I remember going through it and you're like, oh, I'm going forward now, and then it goes that big giant that light beam, and then it goes open like that. That is so cool. However, that didn't happen in Hollywood or Disneyland because it was just up and down. So it happened kind of like less forwardy, and you're standing
Yeah,
there the same thing. So you go up and down, but that's it. Like you're like, okay, sweet. Um, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a far superior ride. Far
yeah,
superior. It's
yeah.
fun.
Before riding it, I would have completely disagreed with you, but after
Mm-hmm.
riding Guardians, it was great.
And you haven't ridden it during October because they pump it up even more. Like they actually, I think the one time I've been scared on that ride was when I went during October, and because they changed all the animatronics, or not the animatronic, but the overlays, and they make it more like violent, and you're like, whoa! Like it's definitely a different experience. But I think that's probably one of those situations where you can see the nostalgia because Tower of Terror for both of us is that holds dear to me too. That was probably the one first scary ride I've ever ridden on where I was like, oh
Yeah,
my god, this is
it's got that
scary.
haunted house type feel that we both
Yeah,
like.
yeah, and but they did good with it. They did good, and I
Yeah,
remember hearing all the backlash.
yeah. So that's what I think is the thing holding people back. Is they think if they change something old, they're gonna fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. They are, but you also have to trust these are people who are Disney engineers. They're Disney Imagineers who have created Pandora and Cars Land and Rise of the Resistance. So that's what I'm like trying to just say. I'm like, I think we need to let go of like it's like one of those. It's like in a movie. It's like Powder, where all of a sudden he's running in the sun and poof, just let go. If you've ever seen Powder,
I
it's with
haven't, but I know what you're talking.
but basically like let go of the past, let
Yeah.
embrace change. And now I'm just trying to sound this is some political stuff right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna do the opposite end of that. Is
Yeah,
Universal. They take something shitty or something old and put something shitty in place.
like so like all the stuff
Fast
I've
and
been doing
Furious.
recently. Fast and Furious,
Fast
which
and
was a
Furious.
disaster.
Disaster and the Beetlejuice show.
Yeah, but let's also say right now, if with Universal, they still have so many high hitters that like I
Yeah.
hate that they replace some of these stupid ass shit. I think they know their mistakes now. I think they really do.
Yeah. And I think they're gonna hit another mistake with this stupid, boring show.
Yes, yeah, I think so
This
too.
we're talking about Disney though.
This is Disney though. This is a
But I'm
Disney
just
show.
saying, like as an example, people are worried Disney's gonna make the same kind
Yeah,
of
they
mistake.
all, but also at the same time with Universal, they have a whole other park to hit it out of the park with. Disney
Disney.
just needs to kind of like, well, Disney fans, I'm talking to you. You need to let go of the past and embrace the future because it's gonna. If you don't, Disney will be in the past for a long time because you are the voice. Because every time that something doesn't go right your way, like a snotty-nosed little brat, you go on and you talk about it and you comment on it. And of course, people hear that. They hear it. And that's what I think is holding people back is those comments. Like, I don't like this. I don't like that. Like the Karens of the world who go up to the manager and are like, I want a refund. Like, sorry that you didn't enjoy the experience like you wanted to, that you got more than you really wanted to. It's just such a
Yeah, in the world of the internet nowadays, everyone's got their opinions.
everyone's got an opinion, and everyone's got an opinion, everyone's got an asshole, and they all stink. You know, like come on. Like, just this is the business of having fun. You guys got to realize that, like, this isn't about you. It's not about us. It's just having fun, having your kids have fun. Like, the thing is, like, we're talking about things. We're having a discussion, like a legit discussion on like the future of, businesses that are based on fun. And you're like, what cooler thing could be happening right now? We're able to talk about these things in 2020 and be like, hey, let's chat about these cool things that are going to happen in the future and have happened in the future that allow us to bring joy to ourselves. Like, we're so spoiled. We're so spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, nostalgia. Y'all wearing your rose-colored glasses, and every time they get skewed, y'all bitch. So calm the fuck down, okay? Because if you don't, we're all gonna get screwed in the butthole, and we're gonna just have fucking Matterhorn for 74. Just ride Matterhorn when you're 74 years old and see how it feels. It's probably not gonna feel good.
Go to Florida, ride Expedition Everest, and tell me that Matterhorn's a good ride.
Yeah, please do, because once you ride Expedition Everest, you're like, oh, wait, this is what it was supposed to be. Both of them don't have any working Yetis, though, so it's fine, whatever. What about that mess up? That's the next episode. Disney mess ups. Ba-ba-bum. Expedition Everest, the giant disco Yeti. I think that's the end of the episode. We're only like an hour and a half in. Something like that. Maybe an hour and 20.
After cuts, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
My audio's going on 2 hours.
With that being said, I'm gonna finish this drink here in a second. Do we have anything else to add, Zach?
No, I mean, there was some other small stuff I had, but whatever.
So basically, Dole Whip suck, nostalgia's a killer, and F Strollers.
Yep.
This is gonna be the episode that ruins us. It's cool. I get it. All right, Zach. Well, I'm done talking about. No, I'm never done talking about this. I can go on for another 4 fucking hours on
We
this
could do
stuff.
a part 2 at some point.
Yeah, and we're just gonna stop this, get more drinks, and then do a part 2. Anyways, I'm not even gonna send the end stuff. This is it, Zach. We just sold our piece. We're gonna post this on everything ever. No one's listening to this. It's fine.
Everyone's gonna hate, but bring on the comments.
Yeah, bring them on. So, with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us all the reasons why you hate everything that we just said down below. If you agree with us, which is probably like 2 of you, then hey, we'll be best friends. Other than that, I'm not even going to say what you used to say because I don't care anymore. But
let's park it.